Welcome on in to Battlehawks Hub Weekly here on Sports Hub STL. We are brought to you by Hot Shots, St. Louis's home for sports since 1990. Find yours at hotshots.net. By DraftKings, the crown is yours, and by Lee's famous recipe chicken. St. Louis Battlehawks host the Arlington Renegades for a revenge game Friday night at 7 o'clock downtown at the Dome. We are pleased to welcome a special guest here on Battlehawks Hub. He has the thickest, most robust, juiciest resume on LinkedIn of the three of us. He went to the world's greatest journalism school. He writes content for Sports Hub STL on the Battlehawks, and he might be the greatest journalist out of Chesterfield, Missouri, second only to me. It's Michael Kleckner. Michael, how you doing today?
Doing great. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
And of course, Judy Strawder, the #1 Battlehawks fan. Judy, how are we holding up game before kickoff or day before kickoff?
Well, these late night, middle of the week Blues games are killing me. So there's been a lot of coffee in my life this morning, but very excited for tomorrow night on two fronts, both for the game and for the hockey game.
I drink 3 Celsius in 24 hours, so I don't know if I'm making it to the end of this show. I got a ride to the airport coming up in 3 hours. We'll see what happens. But anyway, Michael, guest of honor, I want to thank you for joining us. Classic revenge game coming up against Arlington. You have watched this team. You have deep dove into each game so far this year. Where does improvement start for the Battlehawks and able to one-up their conference rival?
Yeah, this is a really, really big one on Friday night, 7 p.m. game. It's a must-win game. I mean, with the way that the playoff structure is set up, the way that Arlington and DC have been looking strong, two teams out of each division make it to the playoffs. And right now, with DC as strong as they are, I don't see them losing anytime soon. And so it really is a race between St. Louis and Arlington for that second playoff spot in the XFL division. And Arlington's already beat us once, just a couple weeks ago. So this is a must-win game. I'm glad we were able to beat Michigan last week to get ourselves going a little bit. And I think we've turned a page. One thing I noticed against Michigan last week is Max Duggan just finally looked more comfortable. That first game he came in, he was kind of, scattered, a little frantic, did not look comfortable running this offense. And a whole week of first team reps truly made all the difference in the world because he was just able to play. It was clear. His reputation he's been known as a gamer, and he looked like a gamer. He was just out there playing, and that was really nice to see. So I'm excited to see how he continues to develop. This is going to be a big one for him to see if he keeps getting better and getting more comfortable in the passing game. He really looked strong running the ball last week. Now let's see if he can really put up some yards in the air.
Judy?
Yes, very, very much. Everything that you said is huge. So when you're talking about DC not losing anytime soon and us being in that second spot with Arlington, that sounds a lot to me like 2023.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like a repeat of that. I definitely think that Arlington is kind of like that dark horse. And even though they lost to DC last week, they really, it wasn't like they just rolled over. I mean, they grinded it out. They just came up a little short. I am very curious to see, do we continue the build on the momentum from what we had on Saturday?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just very curious to see what tomorrow night's going to look like, what we're going to bring out. Is our offense going to get creative again like they did Saturday night and do those fun things? Because I thought all the way up until Saturday night that we were the most predictable team out there, that, you knew exactly what we were going to do. So I want to see, was it just a one-off or is this going to be our team? And if we don't win, I mean, for numbers reasons alone, win-loss on the record, we won't make it to the playoffs. But I also I just don't want to see our team fall flat. I mean, this is a huge year for us.
Yeah.
I would love to know your thoughts on our new OC, Phil McGuigan.
I think what became clear in this Michigan game is he finally came out of his shell a little bit. And I don't know if that had to do more with just game experience or with the change of quarterback, but you're right. For the first several games, we were very, like you said, predictable. We'd run the ball, Sailors would get 3-4 yards, Manny Wilkins would scramble, he'd have a 5-10 yard pass completion. It was very predictable. I think last week he finally said, look, we got to open this up. And having Hakeem Butler back makes a big difference. There's no question about that. He is a game changer. He's a difference maker. He's a big play threat. And he is just the perfect example of when you have a guy who is tall and strong and fast, it helps. You can tell. I like when I watch, good receivers. You can tell the guys that are truly fast when they are flying and they don't look like they're trying to run very hard. And if you watch those 2 touchdown passes by him last week, he looked like he was jogging, and there was the defensive back couldn't even get close to him. So having him back makes a big difference. He's a big target. I will tell you, Judy, my main concern, and this is where, our offense opened it up last week. That was great. But we still have some real issues in the red zone with play calling. We have not looked good in the red zone. We have not looked good on our extra points, and that's very concerning. I don't know the statistics off the top of my head, but I wouldn't be surprised if we've only converted 1 or 2 of our extra points all season.
I'm pretty sure you're right about that.
It's that needs to be improved, because those are things that, we get into these close games against Arlington and our rematch against DC at the end of the year. That could be the difference. So that's what I hope this week. His focus, the offensive coordinator, was our red zone game plan. So,
yeah, I've been I guess essentially pretty critical of Phil McGuigan. I have not been a fan that we haven't really passed the ball, that we have been so predictable, and kind of felt like that's where a lot of our stalling was coming in. So I have been, a little more on the critical side of him. I'm a huge fan of Bruce, and was really sad to see him go, even though he got a great opportunity. So it's just kind of like, we're passing the torch, and I am expecting greatness, and not that he doesn't have it in him. I'm just, we got Donnie Abrams and we had Bruce, and we had just like this perfect combination. And now I'm just waiting for Phil to flash his brilliance, which he did. He showed me a little bit at the end of Saturday night. But it kind of takes a little bit to win me over, and I'm waiting for him to continue to win me over. So I'm very big on the fact that we're not passing the ball. I love that. That was one of my favorite things about McCarron, which I know that we almost were the exact opposite with McCarron, where we were so pass heavy and not so much run heavy. So, hopefully like now we can get a little in the middle. But I was reading some of your articles, and I saw that you kind of are a fan of the run game, the old school run game, which it's cool. I just kind of felt like we were doing it a little too much.
Yep. There's a balance, right? And yes, I love the smash mouth football. I know that's Coach Becht's style. That's what he is all about. He's about running the football, tough defense, disciplined, clean football. That is his MO. And we deviated from that. We've been very sloppy, but being able to run the football is in his DNA. And if we can continue to do that, to open up those big plays for Butler, that's huge. Sailors may not be running for 100 yards a game, but if they know that we're committed to running the ball, they're not able to double team Hakeem Butler, which opens up for the big play. And I think that's what they toyed with last week. You notice we were still committed to the run, but Sailors didn't get close to 100 yards. But what it did is it freed up Hakeem Butler for those big plays. So, and keep in mind, I tell you what, Manny Wilkins was known as a elusive, decent runner, but Max Duggan can run the football possibly better. He just there was something about his urgency in running the ball that was really fun to watch, right? He wasn't just scrambling. He was running to score. He was running to get the first down. And so that's another element to this running game too.
Well, and it's funny you say that because that was something that I mentioned when we did our post game the other day was exactly that. I love that he ran in the first touchdown, but the second one, he easily could have, gone down before, but he just he found this little maneuver and just slipped right in. I mean, he was determined. He was getting that touchdown, and I absolutely loved it. And I kind of felt like that's really when the game turned around too, because it was, the team was like, okay, he's in it, we're all in, and I thought that was really cool. I tend to be a fan of the quarterbacks, so I'm really excited to get my re-love of the QB coming back again. So I'm really excited to see what Max can do.
Yeah, watching him run the ball is both refreshing and fun, yet scary at the same time. Because I agree with you, Judy. I was all pumped up, and it clearly worked for the players. But at the same time, you kind of cringe every time, hoping he gets up and stays healthy. So
yeah, that is a little on the scary part.
Yeah.
So bringing up Coach Becht, after we had those couple of losses, I was reading all over. People were calling for his job, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? This guy is so good. We couldn't have been more lucky to get him. And, even though there are some other great coaching legends out there, including the one that we're playing tomorrow night, I think Coach Becht is perfect for St. Louis. I think also, too, he has the perfect personality as a coach to engage with our fans here. So, immediately, and I'm not even a big poster on social media or commenter, and I was commenting back, I'm like, let's try again, folks. Give it a minute. I know that, we're quick to, be off with this job, but just kind of wanted to get some of your thoughts on really reassuring the fans of St. Louis what a great guy we have leading our team.
Yeah, he's a perfect fit outside of football strategy and game planning. His personality clearly embodies what we're used to. He's got a Midwest personality, right? He's a hard worker, he's down to earth. So he fits very well. I also love him because he really embodies and believes in what this league is all about. This isn't just a job for him. He could have he was rumored to be in the running for that West Virginia job, his alma mater, right? Whatever those circumstances were, he stuck here. And he really believes in this league, and he loves what it's about. Part of what drove their move away from A.J. McCarron was they wanted to get back. This league is about giving guys a chance, giving guys like Max Duggan a chance to shine, right? And so I love that about him. And I think we're very, very lucky to have him. I love how he's kind of, despite the fact that they're only here, a couple days a week, arguably, he's really gotten ingrained. He wears Cardinals hats to the press conferences. I mean, I love that. So yeah, we're very lucky to have him. Yep.
Yeah, I think when you said his personality is perfect for St. Louis, I mean, it really is. I have never for 1 second wavered or questioned that we have the right coach at the helm. And I just needed, to put that out there so I could get some, reputable people to back me up on that. I'm just a girl from St. Louis saying a lot of words, and I needed somebody reputable to back me up on that.
Yep.
One thing I wanted to say about you and your articles, I love that they are an easy read and a quick read, that it's, gets to the point, because we're all really busy people doing 1,000,005 things and, dabbling in kids and our own hobbies and work and this and that. And it was really great to be able just to read over, get the big points from the game. And, so that was really refreshing that it wasn't this thing where I'm scrolling halfway through, okay, I got to get to the end here. So I did want to just give you that prop that I like, that the easy read, the quick read, and get all the information out of it that you need.
Thank you, Judy. Yep. I try to distill, what I see and can analyze in a game and make it short and sweet. Believe it or not, I'm in the same boat as you. I got 3 little kids at home, so time is in short supply many times. So I can appreciate having something that's nice and succinct. So
yeah, and informative. I mean, you hit on all the good points, and then we get a little bit of your opinion in there as well. And so I really enjoyed it. And that even opened up some time for me to read a different article on your LinkedIn page about Major Biddle. So, yeah.
Thank you.
See?
I love it.
Yeah. I even got a little bit of free time
I love it.
to read a whole nother article. So
that's great.
Well, speak for yourself. I'm all Sports Hub 24/7. Coming up on the other side of the break, we're going to ask more questions about the matchup, deep dive into this Battlehawks Renegades matchup. But first, I want to give a shout out to Hot Shots, St. Louis's home for all the games all the time since 1990. Find yours at hotshotsnet.com. By Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken with the new Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken Battlehawks Box. You can score up to 30% off Battlehawks tickets, plus get 4 of their famous breast strips and a side of potato wedges for just $8.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken. Also, DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins. Only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
And as a footnote, Judy Strawder is very hard to please, but we could dedicate a whole block to that. Talking about Arlington coming into town and facing the St. Louis Battlehawks Friday at 7 o'clock on Fox. Michael Kleckner, here the guest of honor, talking. The quarterback play in this league continues to get better just in terms of a numbers standpoint. And we saw that out of Jordan Ta'amu a couple weeks ago and threw for 306 in the air with 3 touchdowns last week against Arlington. Luis Perez for Arlington completes passes to 7 different receivers, targeted 8 of them, goes for 268 in the air, but sacked 5 times. I've seen a lot of comments on our recent videos maligning the third down defense, crying out for a better solution with the front 7. What's the opportunity you see Friday for this team against a quarterback who was sacked 5 times?
Yeah, so I think it's the same challenge that the offense was tasked with last week versus Michigan, which is they got to get creative. The same frustration I have on the defense is that we at the critical moments have not been able to get to the quarterback. Now this league has developed into one where mobile quarterbacks are valued and they're very good. Whether it's Ta'amu or Luis Perez and many others. They are athletic quarterbacks. They're able to scramble. They're able to buy time. But last year and the year before, we had the ability to get to the quarterback with Feeney. We had the ability to get a sack when we needed to at the end of the game. I'm not seeing that yet. It's concerning. I know we got a big stop against Michigan last week at the end, but there were many times throughout that second half where had we gotten a stop, it wouldn't have been a close game. And so I look forward to seeing what the defensive coordinator can do to put some pressure on Perez, to get creative. We have a strong secondary. Maybe take a little gamble and let's send an extra guy in on some blitz packages and see what happens. So that's going to be key. We're going to need to get Perez uncomfortable, and we're going to need to force him into making some bad decisions with some pressure.
And when they did make Perez uncomfortable a couple weeks ago down at Choctaw Stadium, like they did force a pick 6 when they got him out of the pocket and got him a little unnerved. So hopefully a repeat of that. I want to piggyback off of what you guys said about the red zone problems on offense and the extra point conversions as well. They seem to be going for 2 most often the time. And there's a lot of east-west going on, like trying to get it out to Sailors or trying to have a running back try to sneak his way across. And it's not working. And I'm going to throw out a theory that might be a little bit harebrained, but if you're going for 1, they're going to stack the box if you try to run. Like it seems almost harder to do it from 1 than from 2. But I think with the 3-point conversion and the weapons you now have, I feel like spreading it out and going for 3 more often than not might prove to have a higher chance of success.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, I think that's right, and I think that a couple things. One is things got so bad over the last several weeks with our extra point attempts that I literally looked up the UFL rulebook to see if we're allowed to kick an extra point if we actually want to. Now, one big thing that'll be key to your point about maybe backing it up to get some space is we have Hakeem Butler back. We did not really get to see what he can do in the red zone last week or in extra points because keep in mind, we had 6 points from the kicker and 2 of our touchdowns were deep passes to Hakeem Butler. So now we have a chance to see if we can get him involved in some of those extra point plays. Having a big body like that helps. As long as Duggan can toss the ball up in the corner of the end zone and let Butler go get it, that can be effective. I also wonder what we can do to get Ja'Cour Pearson the ball. If you remember when we signed him, there was so much excitement about him, and he was labeled as being the fastest guy in the UFL. That's how he was set. And I keep rooting for him. I want him to be successful. But he just has not been able to do much for us. I know his size is an issue. He's a little target. It's hard to get on the ball. But there's creative ways that we can do that, especially in the red zone. I mean, you have him come around on a sweep, you do some tosses, you do some reverses, and let him use his speed and get him in space and see what he can do. So I hope between Butler and Ja'Cour Pearson and getting them involved in the red zone and the extra point offense, I hope we can make a difference this week.
Yeah, that size issue actually makes a lot of sense when you see some of the miscues that they've had on either kick return or punt return, though, the special teams game when Pearson's gotten involved. So that makes sense.
We might have the tallest receiver and the shortest receiver in the UFL on our team. I'm not joking. So,
I mean, it's Short King Spring. It's UFL football for the love of the game. Let's talk about Friday plans. 7 o'clock kickoff on Fox. Judy's the tailgate queen. Michael, what is your plan for game night?
So every game I'm there with my family, my kids and my wife, and we go to the Bear Plaza tailgate, very family friendly. There's face painting, there's Connect 4 and Jenga and music and bags and food and merchandise, anything you could want. So we will, I'm waiting for the team to release their Bear Plaza tailgate schedule, which they always do on social media. Typically they'll have the tailgate open early. The players will march in a couple hours before the game, and there's activities throughout until gates open. And so we will be down there. I will be picking my kid up from school, and we will be dressed and ready to go, heading down to Bear Plaza and have some fun before the game.
Awesome.
And Judy, face painting galore. What's your plan?
Well, I don't know. I might need to get in on that. I've gone to the Bear Plaza activities and seen the team get off the bus, and it's a really good time. Lots of great energy there. It's really fun. It's supposed to rain tomorrow afternoon, though. I'm super bummed about this.
It's not going to stop us. We're good.
I love that. That's fantastic. Well, I do have my poncho that I'm going to wear, but yeah, tomorrow's a half day at work. Heading down to the Broadway Boat Bar tailgating lot. We'll be down there, and then we'll head in and watch us win.
The indomitable spirit of the Battlehawks faithful warms the heart, which leads me to housekeeping for Friday night's post-game show. I will not be here. I am fixing to get on a flight in just a few hours down to Houston, one of my best friend's weddings, so I will not be here. Randy Karraker, the man, myth, legend, a St. Louis staple, will be hosting the Battlehawks Hub postgame show alongside Judy Strawder, and Judy hasn't been hiding it. That's what she's wanted from week one. They came in here and they said, we're going to pair you with a guy with a decade's worth of experience. And she said no. She said, I want the guy with 3 decades of experience. I want Randy, or I walk. And they said, no, here's an extra $100K. And Sports Hub STL got Judy Strawder in on this. So thank you for putting up with me these last few weeks, Judy. I will not be here. But Randy Karraker is holding down the fort, and Judy Strawder is going to bring her A game as she does every week.
Luke, you got the jokes. You are all about the jokes today. Yeah, I love it.
Always am. And of course, we want to thank our special guest and our writer on Sports Hub STL. Michael Kleckner covering the Battlehawks, one of St. Louis's finest. Check out his LinkedIn. There's some good stuff there. Michael, I want to thank you so much for your time here today on Battlehawks Hub Weekly.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much.
Yeah, this was fun. Get out there on Friday night. It's going to be a big one. So it'll be a fun atmosphere, and it's a must win for us.
It's a must win. And Michael, feel free to come back anytime. If you want in on this, if you've got a lunch break, if you want to jump in on postgame, you're just a click away. And we love that about you. Judy Strawder is the heart and soul of this show, and she's going to make it better than ever come Friday night, or your money back. Thank you, everyone, for watching Battlehawks Hub Weekly here on Sports Hub STL, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and DraftKings. The crown is yours. Oh, Judy, one last word. And Michael, you can get in on this.
Caw-caw!
Caw-caw!